Poppin', y'all. This is Deidre with One Shot Game, man. You already know how the motto go. You get one shot at life, but a lifetime to learn all the game you need to help improve your life. The choice is yours on which route you choose to take. Now, as I always say, you get two choices: the ability to faithfully settle in the life that has been set out for you, or the ability to pave a path towards your destiny. That choice is also up to you. So, before I get into the title of my video, I want to say a big shout out to all my supporters. You guys are great, and even the ones behind the scenes, I see y'all too. So listen, before I get into the title of my video, I know, the content been a little spread out lately these days, but that's because I've been going through real life stuff. And a lot of the times, the lessons learned in those real life situations are way more important than something you can get off the internet, especially when it's pertaining to your own life, right? So today, I had an experience where yesterday didn't go as planned like I wanted it to. Because, of course, there's always an interruption in it, especially when you're one of those people that ask questions and you're, you know what I'm saying, trying to figure out why certain things are the way they are. Some people really, get their panties in a bunch because they want you to just go with the flow. So, my equilibrium was already off, but I'm the type of person that okay, that's what it was. Time to move on for the next day, right? So today, I got up and did my normal routine, right? And something that I predicted to happen at some point in my life, I wasn't ready for it to happen today. Like, I was unprepared for it, you know what I'm saying? So, certain things you notice don't usually go as planned because there are dark forces. There are other people working for the other team that watch you and study you. Some people you know, some you don't. You know what I'm saying? So they monitor your schedule and everything that you do. So this particular day, something just didn't go right the way it was planned. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'm going to just go on about my day, right? And early this morning, I happened to run into my ex, right? The one that intentionally brought destruction to my life to take away, to land me in the situation I'm in, and then see me face to face as if they have no idea what they did, and ask questions as if they're completely clueless to the idea of understanding that your intention from the get-go was to steal life force from someone, not completely love them. But when you fell in love and you realized you couldn't play your game no more, you detached and took my life with yours. But at the same time, it's tricky because you didn't realize that you were coming up to someone that was just as equally strong. So now what you took was reflected back to you. You know what I'm saying? And I say, for me personally, I give y'all a version of me so y'all can kind of understand it in a way where y'all might not get it. I don't have no love lost. You know what I'm saying? No hatred, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? It was more so nothing. I had no feelings. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel anything. And solely because of the simple fact that you are still standing in my face, lying, not telling the truth, asking questions like you just don't know that the darkness of the childhood that you had turned you into the type of person that had no idea what love was. You came across someone that you thought was the perfect candidate to play your grand scheme on, but you fell in love with them. And they showed you what real love was, but because of your pride and ego, you still can't face the fact that you really loved me for real. You know what I'm saying? So what happens is in their mind, they go out into the world trying to find that person, which would be me in my story, of someone that can treat you the way I did. And when you don't, you go and hop from person to person to person to person, which is not directly to me. But seeing me today, I got a chance to see your sorrow, but without it being said. Like, I don't know why we live in a generation where people won't actually say the words of "I'm sorry" or "I apologize." It's more so like, I hope you are paying attention to my body language and my actions, because that's going to tell you that I really am sorry for real. But I'm not going to say that out my mouth because my pride and ego is still too high. And I got to make sure that the crowd I'm attracted or the people I'm following don't look at me as a puppy dog or a sucker. So just pay attention, right? So the eye contact, you know what I'm saying? The emotion of wanting to be seen, because I was noticed first. I was just, you know what I'm saying, going on about my daily business. I wasn't even paying attention. And somebody kept calling my name. And then I look and I seen it was them, right? And I just stopped in my tracks because I didn't know how to feel. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a situation I've never been in my life, ever. Due to the fact that I involved myself with someone that, when you go through such a damaging childhood, you sometimes pick out people that you could take advantage of. Like, that's your intention. I need to get you before you get me. I have no intention on loving you, ever. Nobody. Because I was so badly scorned, so badly hurt as a child, that I don't believe in love. You know what I'm saying? But you came across someone that showed you what it was actually like to be by your side and stick around with you through your flaws and all. But when it got to a point to where you couldn't play your game on me anymore, because I had woken up to who I truly was, after explaining and explaining, and you still weren't ready to grow yet. You had one foot in getting your life together and one foot in the trap. I couldn't afford to have one foot in the trap because I had a child. So it was like, I'm trying to show you how to get your life together, but you weren't ready. So you decided to leave on your own. But what happened was, because you know that you really fell in love with somebody that really loved you, you didn't want the people surrounding you to know that. So you projected hate onto me. You projected mad, aggressive feelings onto me. You portrayed to other people that I was the one who did you wrong. You made it seem as if I did you dirty. You told these people that you gave me everything, and then, you know what I'm saying, I did something to you. So because of that rage buildup and you not wanting to take accountability for the part you played, you convinced a whole group of people on your side and my side to believe that I was in the wrong. You know? When in actuality, I wasn't no saint, but I was in a state of mind in my life to where I was ready to grow, because we both came out of a situation where we didn't have nothing. So I was now ready to be an adult. You know what I'm saying? And I felt, should I say, empathy for someone that also came from the same struggle as me. And I felt like us two together could be able to grow. And we did. We was living good. Everything was good. We had everything. The house, the cars, the jobs. You know what I'm saying? Everything was good. But the emotional stability wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? The ability to plant your feet in wanting to take accountability for your life. You still wanted to hang out in a trap with people who looked at me as the enemy because I was doing better in life than they were. And you kept hanging around with them, and they convinced you to make it seem as if I was the bad guy, when really I was the best thing that ever happened to you. And you really loved me for real. But you couldn't show that to them, and you chose them over me. And to see you today, we both in the same fucking predicament. You know what I'm saying? We both are in the same predicament. And when you see me, you like, why you looking at me like that? Because of how I look? No, I never looked at you because of how you looked or what you had or didn't have. I'm not that type of person. It was more so how your heart was. And I'm looking at you because I'm trying to see, have you got to a point where you can clearly see that it's time for you to grow. It's time for you to move forward in your life because you're chasing after something that's about to become non-existent. That life that you want to be in because you feel it's all you know, simply because your brain is trapped there. When I gave you a dose of real, you know what I'm saying? You had a job, you had a car, you had an apartment, shit you never had before. So you know how to get it. You know what I'm saying? But your mentality is so far rooted in the trapped lifestyle that when that trapped lifestyle becomes non-existent, you're not going to have anything to chase. So it's kind of like you're having the ability to bring yourself into, okay, well, shit, maybe I need help now. Because we were both going to the same location. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost to a point where you're still in that certain mindset, though. And you still lying to me, but I can tell what you got going on. You still on that shit. I can see it on your face, or else I wouldn't have asked. You know what I'm saying? We may both be in the same situation, but I'm going to make it out of this shit. I promise you I am. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sober, though, because this is the type of battle that you have to go through to understand yourself. And how are you going to understand yourself if you're constantly running away from yourself? You know what I'm saying? And it's almost as if, like, the hug I got, the emotion I seen in your eyes. Hey, you are going through a period in your life where I think it's almost as rough as us being in prison together. Like, what you're going through now is probably even worse. You know what I'm saying? And you really want to get it together, but you're still clinging on to the idea of having that power over somebody by controlling them and living this lifestyle of in a trap. I can make people do what I want them to do and this and that. But really, it's your insecurity still gotten a chokehold on your neck. You know what I'm saying? And because of me attaching myself to you, we exchanged both of those things. So the side of you that's angry and upset about your childhood, you know what I'm saying? You passed that on to me. And the side of me that was trying to get over that and still live life through all the things that happened to me, because we had the same lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? I lost a brother, though. You didn't. You know what I'm saying? So you experienced that pain with me. So the lifestyles were similar. But I still had to keep fighting because I had a child. And I was ready to kind of like live life and put that behind me. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like now, spiritually, you're having the ability to see it. And I think today you actually seeing me didn't necessarily make you look at me in an evil way, because you probably had an idea of me doing better than you. And sometimes when people are not liked and loved because they may be different from what they portray to someone, they get jealous if they see someone they used to talk to or someone they used to deal with doing better than them. So because we were in the same fucking goddamn position today, walking with our shit, hopefully you can be able to take some inspiration from that to understand that spiritually we are one and the same. You know? I don't got no bad blood. I want to see you do good, even if it's not with me. I got pride too, so I'm not going to sit up there and say I still care about you and want to see you do good, because I could clearly see you not doing good. You know what I'm saying? Because of your pride being high. So two people who are very strong, it's kind of hard to admit those things. You know what I'm saying? To each other. Because in your mind, because you wanted to pull away, you're still feeling the feeling of, damn, I still don't got her right where I want her. Yeah, and you never will, because when I gave you that part of me, you took advantage of it. So you will never have access to me like that again. But at the same time, me wanting to see you get out of that mindset and live is listen, that's more powerful than anything. And you don't got to be with me to get there. You know what I'm saying? But to understand that I am also a part of you, just like you are a part of me. When we had that whole relationship, I was really in love with you. I really loved you for real. And you dogged me. You know what I'm saying? Threw me under the bus simply because you weren't ready to grow. And you made up so many lies and convinced people that they were true. And I had to spend every waking day of my life trying to let people see Deidre for real, not Deidre cloaked in someone else's energy. So for you to stand there and ask me questions that you already know the answers to lets me know that I don't know how long this is going to take. You know what I'm saying? But until a person goes to the lake and drink, this is what it's going to be. But us seeing each other was the start. But I'm not going to lie and say, you know what I'm saying, I was ready to see you, because I wasn't. It had been 3 years. You know what I'm saying? I haven't talked to nobody. I haven't been in a relationship after you. You know what I'm saying? So to see you brought up all kind of thoughts a little bit. You know what I'm saying? As to, I hope this person is ready to grow. You know what I'm saying? I hope this person is ready to see life for what it's going to turn into, or where they're going to stay stuck at. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that you lied to me to my face still, when I can clearly see, I'm sober. I'm 100% sober. But coming from an addictive lifestyle, I can look at you and tell you own something. You know what I'm saying? And you still lying. You know what I'm saying? So we still got work to do. You feel me? But I do know that at the same time that it wasn't no accident. It was set up like that and designed like that on purpose. You know what I'm saying? And how I react to it is you know what I'm saying, the point where you move forward or stay stuck, you know? So for anybody that is going through a transition right now where you're trying to get a hold of yourself, know and understand I've been at this for 3 years. You know what I'm saying? And probably my whole life, but 3 years where I started to understand what exactly I was going through. I had to erase everything I thought I knew and step into a new version of myself so I could look at it differently. But I'm pretty sure that person, when you know that you played a part in somebody's downfall, you stole their life from them, you expected them to be angry. You're expecting them to be upset. And I did not give you that reaction. You know what I'm saying? I forgive you, but I won't forever forget. But I'm not mad at you, because your childhood and what you went through turned you into that person. Being given up on, being played, you know what I'm saying, being left behind made you feel like that in life. You know what I'm saying? And you went to prison at a young age, and that's even more worse than out here. You feel me? And so I just wanted to love you. That's all I wanted to do, was just to show you that it's a better life than the one that you're trapped in. But you have to want it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So because we mirror each other energetically, it's almost as if life can't move forward until you start to love yourself. I don't know how long that's going to take. You know what I'm saying? But when it's on God's timing, all you can do is wait. You know what I'm saying? And pray. And understand and know that sometimes it takes people a long time to finally get to a point where they say, look, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of living like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of not having the love I deserve. And you can, though. But it's just, you gotta love yourself. And you don't feel lovable. You don't feel like you can love yourself because you felt like people have given up on you in love. So you only feel like a vessel that's navigating the world. You don't feel like you got a purpose. You don't feel like you are worth anything. So you tend to just be out here doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I know that feeling. I know what it feels to feel like that, because I was in it, but in different stages in my life. I was in that stage before I met you. You know what I'm saying? Right before I got incarcerated, I was in that stage. You know what I'm saying? So to have those energies mirror each other, it's almost as if, like, I can't see nobody being any different, because in actuality, we're all the goddamn same. just in different spaces in life. You know what I'm saying? And once we get to a point where we unlearn and relearn and we love ourselves, imagine how the world helps push us into the evolving process of a new energy. You know what I'm saying? For you to notice me first. You know what I'm saying? And for me to actually be able to see you now. You know what I'm saying? Again, people's pride be high. They're not going to come out and tell you certain things. But if you pay attention, you can see. You know what I'm saying? You loved me for real. And you still do love me. And you can't see your life living without that certain energy. But you have to get right for you. That's the only way. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm the type of person where I evolved in my life. I'm no nonsense, no bullshit, no lying, no finesse. We're not playing this game where you can manipulate and finesse because you want to stay in control. Because you're still in this mindset of I need to make sure I don't allow them to know who I am so they can't hurt me before I hurt them. And people are waking up and they're starting to realize and see people for people that are like that. You know what I'm saying? So the reason why you're drawing yourself closer to the lake is because you're starting to see that being that person is not getting you the results you want. You know what I'm saying? And you start to get tired. Especially when you wake up every day and it's the same thing every day. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that sometimes. Like, dang, this again? I'm waking up to the same thing over and over again. I'm getting very tired. I'm praying. I'm asking God, when is it going to break through? You know what I'm saying? And it's not until people start to push themselves to be able to see clearly. You know what I'm saying? Is the fact that for me personally, you know, it wasn't no mistake that you fell in love with somebody at that caliber, especially that person, because they're equally as powerful as you. But first, they have to love themselves enough to be able and willing to know who they are, to be able to move forward. And until they get to that point, it's like a mirror reflection once you made that soul tie. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost as if it's the work being done without people being together, if that makes sense. A lot of times people be doing work when they just by themselves. They don't realize it. You know what I'm saying? But it starts to click. Certain things start to click when they alone, when they by themselves. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of those type of people that gotta latch on to someone all the time. I gotta be around somebody all the time. But I used to be like that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not anymore. You know? So I said all that to say that now in my life, it was a different experience because it's only been 3 years. You know what I'm saying? And when I love hard. I give my all. And the fact that I haven't been with nobody else, I haven't, you feel me, put myself in any situation with somebody else, I still got love for you. But again, I see your pride and I got pride too. So I'm not going to tell you that, but I'm pretty sure you felt it because I wasn't angry or upset. You know what I'm saying? It was more so I was shocked to see you today. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't ready. But then it let me know that I'm getting closer to understanding, you know what I'm saying, myself. And as well as you getting closer to understanding yourself because we are both one and the same. You know what I'm saying? So nothing I've ever did in my life was in vain. At first, I couldn't understand what was going on. I couldn't process why this is happening. I've never experienced this before. But it's almost as if that person clearly knows exactly everything that they did. That's why the emotions felt when we first locked eyes is something that you can't act like you didn't feel. But you can't bring it up either because they're the type of people that are going to deny it. They're going to tell you that that's not what happened, even though you can clearly see it. That's why I feel like a lot of nonverbal communication is worth so much more than verbal communication. You feel me? It tells you a lot about a person. You know what I'm saying? And so I haven't been able to quite give y'all content yet because I've been going through the motions and it's been very intense lately. So this experience that I experienced today, you know what I'm saying? It did make me feel a certain type of way because I never want to see anybody I care about doing bad. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I also can't keep continuing to be a bungee cord for you. You got to be willing to do it yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that was the whole part of me detaching from you. You know what I'm saying? If you were able to make those adjustments while we were together, we probably wouldn't even be going through what we're going through. But for sometimes people to grow, they have to do it by themselves. You know? Because they won't learn with someone where they can be a crutch. That person that they're with is a crutch to them because they make it to where that person loves them so much that they ignore the wrongs. They ignore the bad things. And they're able to either have sex with them or buy them something to make them forget so that they can go a period of time until they do it again. So they never fully learn. You know what I'm saying? Not until they're separated from you, especially when you're having the ability to have a repeat of the cycle in your life where people left you behind. No one wants to be around you. No one, they're abandoning you. You know what I'm saying? And you had one person that actually loved you for you, but you looked at them as an easy target, not as love. You know what I'm saying? And so now you're reliving an experience again in your life where you're feeling those same feelings, but you have to save yourself this time. You know what I'm saying? Just as well as I gotta save myself. I'm not banking on the fact that I won't see you again, because I probably will. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully at that point, it'll get to a point where, you know what I'm saying, you got yourself to the lake and you drink and you see yourself as a person that no longer lives in your past. You know what I'm saying? Because your present is what's important. You know what I'm saying? And that will make it to where we're never going to be in a relationship again, but I can see you as the person I want to see you as. You know what I'm saying? Because we're both energetically matching each other instead of you down here and me up here. Because as long as you feel that way about yourself, you're going to be showing hatred towards people caring about me or loving me. You feel me? You're always going to have that energetic cord on me because you know that I loved you better probably than anybody. And you don't want nobody else to have that. But you don't want to admit that to the people around you. So you made sure my life turned to be the same way as yours. And you push anybody away that gets too close to me. You know what I'm saying? But as I've grown to know myself and who I am, that is not what's going to happen. And it's automatically reflecting back onto you for you to have all those blocks in areas where you think you're going to grow. And now you're faced back with yourself. You know what I'm saying? And in the end, out of all of this, I can't explain how it's going to work out on the internet because this is my real life. You know what I'm saying? I'm just relaying it to people that maybe struggling right now. Maybe going through a hard time right now and it feels like it'll never end. It will. It's just people have to understand a lot of who we have been connected to and you know what I'm saying, the energetic soul ties we've had have kept us trapped in certain walls, in rooms, invisible, that we are banging on it, trying to get out, but we don't know the code to make it out of that. But it's a mental code, you know what I'm saying, to free yourself from the chains of that room. And then you just move on to another one. That's life. You feel me? And then you figure out how to get yourself out of that one. Some of them will be good, some of them will be bad, you know? But again, overall, for the first half of the morning, I was just replaying the experience because I wasn't ready or expecting to see that person right now. And over everything, I just want that person to see the value inside of themselves so that they can know that they are a very good person when they heal. You feel me? Because I wasn't with you for no reason. I seen the side of you that you probably didn't show to other people. I seen it. You showed it to me. You know what I'm saying? So I know it's in there. But the more you keep walking in the life you walking in, it's going to be harder for you to get back to that person. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to constantly play a person that everybody feels comfortable with to get that fake love from people who don't even love themselves. You know? So again, wish good for people. Want to see people do better. You know what I'm saying? Because if you hate on someone's growth, if you hate on someone's progress, that's only going to push you back further in your own. You know? I had no feelings towards this person, but it was more so like me in my heart. I want to see you do better, and just to see you in the same area where you can possibly get some resources to help you is the first step, and you did that shit on your own. I just hope that you follow through. You know what I'm saying? If not for people who love you, for yourself. You know? Because that life is not going to lead you anywhere but backwards. And that is not my intention I had for you when we got together. Is to see you go backwards. I don't care how much you put me down, how much you feel me, wanted to control me, whatever. I never wanted to see you do bad, period. You know? But I do want to see you get right. And if you're not going to do it anytime soon, just make sure you do it for yourself. So again, for people watching this video and watching this content, I share my story just for people to understand that, you know what I'm saying? If you're still in your city doing the work, it's a possibility God is going to orchestrate it to where you might run into the very people that hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Forgive for them, for you. So when you see them, you don't have this animosity that creates your life going forward. Because I promise you, those emotions and feelings are the reason why people are still stuck in their life right now. It's because they hold animosity and grudges towards the wrong people that they're just projecting on, because they haven't healed the issues with the original people. You know what I'm saying? And because we see faces and judgments and clothes and money, and we see the people in those people, especially if it's bloodline, it's hereditary, you know what I'm saying? We see those traits, we automatically go back to the person that hurt us, when in actuality, that's not that person. You know what I'm saying? And you hurting that person's life, which is in turn hurting yours, because you're projecting onto that person. You know what I'm saying? They never hurt you. You know what I'm saying? So again, heal. I think now is the best time. The lake is clear. Walk to it. Save yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because at some point it's going to get to a place where that world is going to be non-existent. It's not going to exist anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be getting jobs and working and taking care of ourselves and going to the doctor and paying bills. It's not going to be trap life, doing drugs, living a free life, living off of government assistance. No, it's not going to be none of that. You know what I'm saying? So if I were you, I would pay attention to what your soul is telling you now. It's okay, you know what I'm saying, to love yourself. Because when you love yourself, it's easy to love another person. I know you love me. I know you do. And you can't make me think that you don't, because I know you do. You just got too much pride to admit it. You know what I'm saying? But once you get to that space, when you love yourself, it'll be easy for you to face the fact that, damn, I really did fall in love with somebody that showed me what true love really was. And I need to understand that until I love myself, I'm only going to make it harder for this girl in her life. Simply because I don't want nobody else to have her, because I ruined her life by ruining mine. You know? So again, it's time to save yourself, people. You know what I'm saying? You can't look for anybody else to do it. But as humans, we all mirror each other. You know? So don't hold on to that anger. Don't hold on to that animosity. You know what I'm saying? Wish people the best. You know, I sometimes see people and I don't exactly say what I'm feeling. It comes out all lopsided. But at the same time, my emotions towards the situation of actually wanting to see someone do good, you know what I'm saying? Because I was in love with you is all I want. You know what I'm saying? Want that for everybody. Even if they may look like they getting ahead of you or they're doing better than you, so what? Your journey is your journey. Maybe it's taking you a little longer. Focus on yourself. You know what I'm saying? So listen, if you don't know what it is, I just told you. Please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe.